The ADDIESDIVE AD2055 is not a new watch, and I've always wondered how it has so much staying power. Recently, one of you guys asked me that same question, so here we are. Hey, there you are. Welcome to My Dude Watch. My name is Jason, and today we're going to talk about a watch that's interested me for quite some time. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be fun. You know the deal. Grab a snack, pull up a chair, and let's talk watches. And just a quick reminder, don't forget about our giveaway. You know the watch, the ADDIESDIVE AD2552. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, and you are good to go. All right, real quick before we jump into today's video, My Dude Watch merch is officially here. I won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but if you're interested, the link is in the description, and we are ready to roll. All right, here we go. You're getting a 39mm case diameter, 49mm lug to lug, and 12mm for the case thickness. You get a near perfect 20mm at the lugs. The case is crafted from 316L stainless steel with that blasted tool watch style feel, and I really like the finish on this watch because it fits what this watch is trying to be. At the top of the watch, you get AR-coated sapphire crystal. The 2055 gives you a very nice screw-down crown and case back, along with a substantial 200 meters of water resistance, which is complete overkill for someone like me because I stay on the kiddie side of the pool. And powering this guy is Old Faithful, the NH35, and I know you already know about this movement. You're getting hacking, hand winding, and about 41 hours of power reserve. Is the NH35 exciting? No, not really. But does it work? Absolutely it does. It's proven, it's reliable, it's inexpensive to service, and for a watch like this, I understand why ADDIESDIVE uses it. Now, I did throw this one on the time grapher, and this particular watch came up at a +9 seconds a day, 274 degrees of amplitude, and 0.4 milliseconds beat error. So that's a pretty solid result for an NH35. Nothing crazy, nothing magical, but a healthy movement, and a result I'm pretty happy with at this price point. So to put all of this together, it's 39mm sapphire crystal NH35 screw down crown, 200 meters of water resistance, 316L stainless steel. There's just not anything to complain about from the spec sheet. When I pulled this guy out of the box, my first thought was, yep, that's exactly what I was hoping for. And I mean that in the best of ways. There's just something really uncomplicated about this watch. It's not flashy, nor is it meant to be. It's not trying to look expensive. It's not covered in polished surfaces, and it's not trying to scream at you to get your attention from across the room. But somehow, it still has personality, and I think that's important. Now, one thing that surprised me pretty quickly, though, was the finishing. It's actually very well done. The blasted finishing fits the personality of the watch perfectly, and especially when you look at the flanks of the case. It just looks clean. Honestly, it's better than I expected. Looking down from the top, you've got that green dial, those oversized Arabic numerals, those warmer vintage colors, that really simple case, and somehow it all works together nicely. I think this may be one of the first clues as to why this thing has staying power. It doesn't feel trendy. You know what I mean. There are some watches that come out, you can almost immediately tell what year they were built. They were chasing whatever happened to be popular at the time, and then in a couple of years later, they already feel dated. I don't get that with the AD2055. This watch looked right in 2024, and it looks right today. Now, for me, the dial is the reason we're here. That's the thing that kept pulling me back into this watch. And when you get up close to this watch, there's actually much more going on than you think. The outer portion of the dial, where the big Arabic numerals sit, has this really nice, fine, almost pebbled texture to it. Then the center of the dial is much smoother, and the contrasts give this dial some depth without making it too flashy. Then you've got that railroad-style minute track around the outside, those warm colored numerals and hands, and that deep muted green. I think the colorway here is absolutely spot on. I also like the ADDIESDIVE name right under the 12, and I know branding can sometimes be a touchy subject with affordable watches, but on this particular dial, it works. It gives the center of the dial a little more refinement without taking away that military-inspired personality. So to me, it feels more like ADDIESDIVE took an old military-inspired design and said, okay, how do we build a modern everyday watch around this? Even the green matters. This isn't some bright, shiny sunburst green that's trying to grab your attention. It's more muted, more outdoorsy, more field watch. Now let's talk about how this watch actually wears, because this is where the measurements start making sense. Now remember, we've got about 49 millimeters lug to lug, and that gives this thing a little more presence across the wrist with that 39 millimeter diameter. On my roughly 7¼ inch wrist, I really like it. And I was a little curious about that because I like 39 millimeters, but sometimes they feel small. But the lug to lug here helps. And the bracelet, it's okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the bracelet is the star of the show because it isn't. But I wore this watch for quite a while and never found it uncomfortable. More importantly, the watch sits really balanced on the wrist. It never felt top heavy, awkward, or like I was constantly having to reposition it. So what happens when you turn out the lights? Well, it's ADDIESDIVE, so the expectation is a long-lasting loom. And as you can see here, it does a nice job. I won't spend much time on this because it's exactly what you would expect from ADDIESDIVE. So who is this watch for? I think this is for the guy who wants an affordable automatic watch he can actually use. Maybe you like field watches. Maybe you like vintage military designs. Maybe you've already got 3, 4, 5 divers just sitting in your box and you want something a little bit different. This makes a lot of sense. And you know what? I actually think this would be a really good first automatic for someone. Think about what you'd be getting: a proven movement, sapphire crystal, serious water resistance, a screw-down crown, a very wearable size, and a design that actually has some personality. There just isn't a lot here to be intimidated by. Now, there are some people that may find it's not for them. If you want some beautifully decorated movement that you want to stare through the back of the case back, no, this would be the wrong watch for you. If you want something over the top or a massive wrist presence, nope, not for you. But for the right guy, this is a really compelling watch. So, you've heard the evidence, and that brings us right back to where we started. Why does this watch have so much staying power? And after finally getting to spend time with this watch, I've looked at it for a couple of years now, and I think I get it now. It's not one thing. It's not the NH35. It's not the sapphire crystal. Forget about the 200 meters of water resistance. And it's not because it's the newest thing on the market. It's the combination. You get enough specs to make the watch enthusiast in you be happy. You get enough durability that you can actually wear it and go places and do things. The finishing here is better than I expected. It wears comfortably, and you get a dial with enough personality that people actually notice it. And 2 years after it was released, it still makes sense. It still feels relevant. People are still buying it, and ADDIESDIVE is still selling it. That is staying power. And if you want to know more about the ADDIESDIVE AD2055, we put a link in the description. Go there, check it out, see if this watch is right for you. Just remember, if you decide to make a purchase, My Dude Watch may get a small commission. You don't pay more. Hey, you made it to the end of another video. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please take the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll only take you a second, but it really does help. And we are checking the time, and it is time to wrap this up, so we will close the show. My name is Jason with My Dude Watch. We'll do it all again next time, but wait, don't forget, dudes can't be late.